So, episode 3 starts off with Gerry crying, which is where I wonder if he's built for this.
Yes, yes, agreed. A little bit challenged. He's just so kind.
He is. He's so sweet. And he's like really making a very deep empathic connection with each of these women. And I was wondering when that's going to catch up with him because you have to be a little bit of a not so nice guy, I feel like, to date so many people and not get really involved.
Yeah, I know it's so much energy too to
Yeah.
kind of give them everything that they need. I agree.
Yeah.
That's tough. I also was just reminded again what like an awesome vacation house it looks like. And I was shocked that they said week 3. I don't know if that was a just a term they use for the third episode and like the third cycle, like week 3. I found it really hard to believe if they had been in this house for 3 weeks up until now. Surely they're not in the house for as many weeks as there are episodes of the show. I'm sure it's all filmed, somewhat quickly, or maybe not. Maybe they are there for that long. It's
I
quite a commitment.
That's what I was thinking as well. So hopefully that is just week 3 for us and not for those women.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because who am I to presume that they have nothing else to do but be on this show? They may have other things they need to do. We need to chop and get through this. And so I have a note that says Kathy asking, but I now can't remember what that's
Yeah,
about.
I remember this a little too well. So, unfortunately, they formed an alliance. Kathy, I believe it was April, who is the Floridian egg chick catcher. She is probably on the other page, I think. I don't see her there. There she is on the ground with the giant necklace right there.
It was April.
I think that's April. Yeah. And then Susan from the Philadelphia area, Kathy and Nancy. That spells Askin,
Ah,
which is an acronym, which is kind of the most base level mean girl stuff that I've heard of. So I was just thinking like, wow, they really created an acronym for their friend group like I probably did in 1998, So I was a little bit shocked by that. And I was just reminded about high school's just repeats. That's all life is.
also was very much alarmed by the fact that I may be doomed to be stuck in this cycle of adolescence my entire life. Like we never get out of this. What?
Yeah, I don't think so. Sadly, no,
It
we
was
don't.
very upsetting.
It was.
Yeah.
Um, I also, obviously, I've chosen Teresa and Kathy as my background photo because that was, we'll get to that later in the episode. But even right off the bat, I had to laugh. I related to Kathy. She was talking about packing and she said, Teresa, she's got a whole bag of shirts and that's like when I pack underwear. And I so related to that when I pack bras, for example, for a trip. It takes, all these easy breezy people who do carry on and
Mhm.
it's so easy. You just throw some, it's not possible for certain people. So I did think that was kind of funny when
That
she was kind of like, oh, she's so lucky.
that was super cheeky when she was like, "Oh, her clothes are so teeny tiny," and I was thinking that too. And she wears like a lot of tank tops. There's not a lot of long sleeves or long pants. She just keeps it like as tiny
Like,
as possible. Zip
yep,
up and
yep.
go.
Then you have more options.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I bring trunks with me wherever I go, and I always get a lot of flack for it. So,
100%.
like you said, not everybody is able to pack a little, handbag and get on the road.
No, we're not. We're not.
And so that brings us to, unless you want to talk about anything else, the talent show.
The talent show, no, that's next on my list. I already thought, okay, well, this is going to work out really well for some people, and this is not going to be great for others. So the radio station gal, again, forgive my lack of knowledge on the names, and again, forever to me, Princess Ex-Girlfriend. I think her name is Leslie.
Yeah.
Um, I thought, well, they're gonna kill this because they're like singing and dancing and they can do all that, but I was thinking, oh my goodness, what are these other women going to do? And it was cute. They came through, you
Oh,
know.
sure. There was comedy, kung fu, sex ed, you name it, they had it. I was like pleasantly surprised, and that could have been its own episode, really.
Oh, it totally could have. And the Florida, again, April, I think, Florida woman uh was a beatnik, which cracked me up. That absolutely cracked me up that she was kind of like a slam poet.
I
Um,
that I was wondering like what was her whole shtick. I couldn't really figure it out. So thank
yeah.
you for explaining that to me. Did she ever say that clearly and I just missed it?
I think it did say on the
Okay.
Chiron title, you know, beatnik, but I was surprised that I guess she figures she has a lot of skills, so she thought she'd throw one out there. The whipped cream catcher, that was a bit of a stretch. I was kind of like, I don't know, that's like a party trick, but I get it. I mean, I it's hard to get up there and figure something out last minute. So good
Yeah.
on her.
I mean, I've been in a situation when I was like 6 where everybody had all these hidden talents, and I was just walked up to the teacher and I was like, "Do you mind if I sit this out? Because I don't have a talent." And she was like, "Yeah, just go ahead and sit down." And you would think since then I would have come up with one, so I'll never be placed in that situation again. I still have nothing to bring to a talent show after all these years.
I mean, I probably don't either. I can't think of anything in particular. Well, singing, I don't know. It would be
Yeah.
hot. It would be tough to come up with something last minute. So I commend them all. I did think like everyone's going to be annoyed at Leslie because she just really, I think the picture I've chosen here are their faces when they were watching Leslie.
Oh, was that?
I
Oh,
think,
uh-huh.
but you know, then she made it into a strip tease. Like you could just tell people are like, all right, here we go. Like, how are
Yeah.
we supposed to compete with this?
For
So
sure. Like Leslie's, like even Leslie's body is like she's been actively moving ever since her 20s and she never stopped. Like, you know how there's some people when they move, they are a little stiff in some places, maybe the joints have stiffened up.
yeah.
Leslie does not have that problem at all.
Nope, agreed. She was great. I think I missed Teresa's talent. I didn't catch that for whatever reason. I didn't notice what she did
Again, sorry. Oh.
here.
Oh, Teresa, I don't think they showed hers.
Yeah, I don't think they showed it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what was up with that. I also noticed Joan, who ended up essentially winning with her sweet
Oh, yeah.
poem. Um, just her hair is amazing. She has like Instagram
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom hair. Yes.
She's the
Yes.
Real Housewives dude. She could
Yeah.
totally just step in. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So pretty. So yeah, she won, and that was exciting for her. You could kind of tell if something was gonna happen because she got really nervous right before, and I think right before the commercial break, they had her say, like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
But it worked out for her. I don't know who that woman is in the middle. Again, I think we're supposed to know who that is. She came out and everybody was like, we love her. But I just don't know who she is. So
Thing. And I love that the host gets to weigh in on it. That's a cool job, you
yeah.
know, if you can get it. But yeah, I think Joan's poem made me think like, oh, even if when times are rough, you can always just come. Oh, let's not forget that is it I'm horrible. What is the 75-year-old woman's name again?
Sandra.
Sandra's comedy was pretty good.
Oh yeah. That was fun.
So you can
All
always
her
tell a
jokes.
couple jokes and win
Yeah.
the crowd. So thank you for inspiring me, you women, to come up with something even in a pinch. I love
There you
that.
go. There you go.
So and then apparently Joan is the winner of the date following the
Yep.
talent.
Yep. I mean, I wasn't surprised when she did kind of read her whole poem. I thought, okay, he's going for this one because it's a bit nerve-wracking to do something like that. And it's sweet. So
And it made me think like this is why you always need to be prepared to go at any moment because they're like in your date starts now. I was like, oh, if that was me, I would be like, no outfit change. No, okay.
right, right. Oh yeah, did they went right away. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but then they show up and they're all fancy, right? So I was just like, okay. So there was an attire change somewhere. They just didn't make us privy to it.
Oh, got it. Yeah, they didn't show the behind the scenes like they had on the previous
Yeah.
single dates. Yeah, and then the thing I noticed is I don't think they took a bite of their dinner.
Oh,
I think because I saw them sit down,
yeah.
I clocked what the food was. It looked like a plate of pasta.
Mm.
Um, but I don't think that they ate anything. And then the kind of date ended after their whole conversation. So I thought that was interesting. But they had one of the, the classic kind of conversations with Gerry about something intimate that they connect with, and it's kind of sweet and gentle conversation. I was very nervous that she talked about the manner in which her daughter gave birth. I thought, ooh, we're a little like TMI, but then come to find out that's kind of the reason that she,
Yeah.
as we learn later in the show, has to leave prematurely. And then I will say, hand up, I did cry when she talked about having to go back to see her daughter, the possibility of having to go back to see her. I was just really like feeling for her there. So that was sad.
When I saw the date, my first reactions were they just put them in a aisle of the Hobby Lobby because there was so much stuff everywhere and it all looked like decor from Hobby Lobby. Like they just were like, here you go. And she was like, who gets to eat at a restaurant like this? And I'm like, girl, this is a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, and this is a store. I don't know where they were. To your point, they didn't really show the prep or like the drive. Like, was it just an empty room in the mansion that they refashioned to be like a dinner venue? We'll never know.
Yeah, we will never know. But I mean, if you leave it to me, I'm gonna tell you and reveal the secrets. Hobby Lobby. They're running low on budget. You know what I mean? So yeah, they go on the date. She does share that tidbit about her family and what she's recently been through, or her daughter's recently been through. And then they come back from the date feeling very connected. And remind me what happens after this.
So I think I might have got it wrong when I said, she talked about the possibility of going back. I think, did she talk about that at the dinner?
I believe at the dinner table. Yeah.
Okay, well then I think we just go right to the next day, the next morning back at the house. Prince's ex-girlfriend is wearing a bandana, and I'm just thinking this is not Gerry's vibe. Like, what's with this bandana? And they also, yeah, Leslie. And they pan to another woman again. Here's me, shocked, never seen her before. Just a woman sitting on the couch. I thought, nope, she's not been here before. They just planted her. I do not know who that is. And then, yeah, then it became the kind of whole conversation around the fact that Joan was going to have to leave. It was like a movie. Like it was quite dramatic. I mean, again, I cried when she acknowledged the possibility of going home, and she said, I have to be a mom. I have to go be a mom. But it was quite dramatic. She said my heart healed. Like she was trying to say she was okay with the decision because of that. So it was quite dramatic, and Gerry was really sad, and that was pretty sad.
I mean, I have to start by saying when we go back to talking to Leslie, the audacity of Leslie saying, no one ever picks me. I never get picked. I'm like, oh yeah, except for Prince, because he's nobody, right? Like, what are you talking about?
I know. Yeah. I don't know.
And also something I forgot to mention on the last episode was when they were whispering sweet nothings into their hearing aids, and I was kind of like, "Oh my god!" And they were like, "What are they saying?" So yeah, that's what I remember about Leslie. Leslie's always whipping up a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. Then they bring on a fashion designer for the single date. I again don't know who that man is.
I know him, girl. He is a awesome designer. Yeah, I feel like he was on Project Runway. I could be wrong, but he made cute clothes. Yeah, and he was so supportive of the women. He was just like, "You look that woman. You look great."
Yeah, that was cute. And I thought that was fun. It was like a pretty woman moment, trying on different stuff, and she came out and like posed. I thought she looked amazing in like every dress. I really did.
Yeah, she did.
That was fun. I also kind of noticed, Gerry's good at don't want to say compartmentalizing, but I guess you have to in a sense with this many women. You know, he kind of had his moment of sadness, acknowledged it, sat in it, and then he was moving on. He was like, I gotta move on though. I gotta move on. Like Joan left and he's like, well, yep, I'm moving on. Like, gotta think ahead. Like, it was very like, okay, water off a duck's back. Like, let's go. So I don't know. I don't know where he gets that tenacity, I guess is the word. And that's probably not the right word. I also thought it was interesting once he was actually on the date, and it was Ellen, I think is her name.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I feel like even before they went on their date, he can be himself. I just don't really remember them interacting before that. So I just find that some of those comments, again, I think these are the comments you kind of make on The Bachelor. I feel myself falling, or the kind of colloquial platitudes, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, oh, I can really be myself around this woman that you've spoken to once or twice in a group. Like,
Well, this is also the woman that he gave the picture of the wedding to.
oh my gosh, you're right. You're right. Okay, so they have had that moment.
Yeah, I mean, he really likes her. I remember in like episode 1, he spent some time, a good amount of time with her. I felt like that date was so sleepy. I forgot it even happened. So thank you for bringing that back up. I remember the fashion designer because I love him, of course, but I just totally forgot that she went on a date after that.
Yeah, they kind of just like sat on a bench. They talked. They did. I mean, he did give her earrings, which were beautiful. I was thinking, like, wow, like those are nice. And they went on a hot air balloon. But I'm just not seeing. Gerry keeps saying there's this connection, and you know, I can be myself. I don't get it. I don't get it. But maybe I'm missing something. Do you have anything else on that before the drama starts?
I do not. I do not.
Okay. So then we move on. Yeah. This is a little bit of a roller coaster for me. So part of me, I mean, I'm certainly entertained by Kathy. But you know, I found myself on both sides throughout this argument, kind of back and forth. So as Teresa was talking about her day and oversharing, it was very clear, like, okay, you need to stop. Like, Kathy's not the one that you should be sharing, just based purely on Kathy's personality alone. But then Kathy got all dramatic and left and was, saying, keep your mouth shut. And it's just too much. So I thought that was strange. And then April spoke on behalf of Kathy to Teresa. Again, this is reality TV behavior. She's upset because of this. But then Teresa was trying to say, okay, apologize. But then April said, well, you got to take that up with Kathy. But you just brought the issue. So anyway, that was strange. Kathy was crying, and I felt like she was exaggerating people being mean to her. Like, no one was being mean to her. No one. I mean, if she felt that, she could feel that way. Like, oh, I felt like blank. But Teresa's just a little bit oblivious, I think. I think she's just a sweetheart. I think she's maybe not the brightest bulb in terms of knowing people's personalities, like knowing Kathy's not the one that I should be sharing this with. Maybe I should have chosen someone else, but she wasn't being mean.
No, I mean, she's not the brightest bulb by the simple fact that after this altercation, all that's happened, she goes and does the same thing that got her into the altercation and to start.
Oh my God. That's what I have noted too. So, I was really kind of getting to be on Teresa's side because of the way that Kathy overreacted, and Gerry believed Kathy. Like, Gerry said, like, wow, I'm really hurt. I can't believe this is Teresa. I can't believe she did this. Like, without even asking for anything specific, like she just kind of alluded to stuff. And then at the very end, like, she just goes right back and tells it again. And I'm like, Teresa, you ruined it again. Why did you do that? Like,
I thought the same thing. I was just like, I mean, for as much as she felt apologetic and was just wanting to make it right when she was talking to April, and she, oh, I need to go talk to her and make this right. And then immediately after, and me and Carrie, I was just like, Teresa, shut up, shut
I know.
up. But yeah, I think Kathy gave me a line that I love where she said, if either of you guys get a rose, I'm just gonna take it because possession is 9/10.
Oh,
Just,
say that.
that is so on par with Kathy's character, is just to be like, let me figure out a way to make this work, which is how she got her rose tonight. I feel like, was kind of like hyping up this situation so that Gerry had to take immediate action to resolve it and feel like he tried to help. And I don't know,
I
I just kind of feel like she manipulated the situation to get her outcome, and I don't really love that. And she wasn't completely wrong, but I don't really like that it was at the cost. And I don't even know if she did she mention Teresa by name? I can't remember.
No, she didn't. She just was quite it was quite vague the way she described it. She just said, people have been mean to me today. I think she said, I've been through the ringer, or I've been a target. I think Gerry, I forget how he determined it was Teresa, but I think there was a moment before they have the cocktail. They have like cocktail hour before the rose ceremony. So I think it was all sort of whispers and illusions and assumptions, but I think that April might have shared it with him again, kind of loosely. No one came out and said, oh my gosh, Teresa did this. The other thing is, because we're not talking in specifics, Gerry doesn't know what was said. So the fact that I feel like if he found out the actual text of what Teresa said, he'd be like, oh, I can see how like you might be upset by that, but I also don't think that she was trying to boast or brag. Like, she wasn't being mean to you. So I don't know. That was kind of, it was a weird one. It was just it was a typical reality TV, sort of argument or things where you can't really trace things. And as a viewer, you just want to shake them and be like, no, she said this. And
Footage, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it also is one of those things where I wonder if he did really give her the rose, give Teresa the rose last, or if they just edited to make us be like, is he gonna not pick her because of this drama?
Yeah. Yeah. You knew he was going to keep her in, though. I don't think that just
Come on.
one incident would have ruined it. And now we're down to, I believe we have 9 because we had 12,
Mhm.
but Joan left.
Yeah, Joan.
He had to say goodbye to 2 women. So R.I.P. Joan. I
Yeah,
mean,
I miss your girl. And Joan actually had a quote that like I felt to my core where she says, as you get older, you become more invisible. And it that like touched me to my core. And also I was just like, for this woman who's still like on top of everything that you can be on top of, hair immaculate, makeup immaculate, body immaculate, nails immaculate. Like, she is presenting in the best possible way for her to even not be able to escape like how society treats older people is like, it doesn't give you much to look forward to.
oh, it's so true. That's why I think this show is so cool. I hope they keep doing it. It does shine a light. It's cute.
And also another one of my favorite girls, because I wanted to see more of her fashion, was voted off. What is happening?
Oh my gosh, she's the most stunning.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, Silver Fox all the way. Yeah, she was voted off or voted off. She was not selected. Mixing my reality TV metaphors. I do think it's a shame when people leave and you just go, huh, who was she again? What was she? I mean, she's giving us glamour and beauty, but then again, we didn't really see any interactions with her and Gerry. We don't really know what she's all about. So
Yeah.
it's kind of okay. I think the next few episodes obviously will be a lot harder because you start to get to know them more and you want to stick them around. But
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the next couple episodes, and I hope y'all are too.
me too. Me too. Hopefully there's no gas being shared. Did you notice that at
Oh,
the end of the episode? I guess they're doing these comic reliefs at the end, and I was like, come on, we don't need this. This is
yeah, and then at the end, Nancy confirms it's the meatballs. She's like, it's definitely the meatballs. And,
ladies,
yeah,
ladies. Yeah.
so we'll see what episode 4 has in terms of comic relief.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a doozy.
Alrighty.
All right, well, thanks.
For sure. Signing off. See y'all next week.
See ya.